Here come the Irish! Woo! How we doing, everybody? We are back on a significant Saturday. I'm recording this. I usually don't during the weekends, but I told you guys I had to get my post-game reaction to Notre Dame, Georgia. I had a couple days to sit on it. So what a great win for Notre Dame. I loved it. I'm sorry, my Georgia fans out there. A couple of them I know. It's hard. I get it. It's been a hard time to watch Georgia this year because they, unlike other years, they've just been dominating people and been the biggest bully on the block. This year was different. But I'll get into that in a second. But Notre Dame, congrats. You got off the schneid. You finally broke through after that 8-game losing streak on New Year's Eve Bowls or whatever the fuck it was. I've seen some ugly ones over the years. But congratulations to Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame. They got a date with Penn State, and I believe they got a chance to win against the Nittany Lions. I do believe it. But I want to start off. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope we're doing well. Love having you guys on. So, as I just mentioned at the top, Notre Dame did beat Georgia 23-10 in kind of a rock'em sock'em, bang it out kind of football game. Gutty, gritty, tough. Both teams hitting around. I love that. Marcus Freeman being the former defensive guy, played in the NFL, hitting, smacking people. Those two safeties in the back end for Notre Dame, a decent defense, solid all around. All three levels got elite guys on it. It did suck that Riley Mills, the 99 guy for Notre Dame, who kind of looks like a poor man's J.J. Watt, was a heartbeat of that defensive line. He got hurt. They had other guys step up. Good for them. I was just impressed with Notre Dame. And listen, Georgia was going to be a hard out regardless. And I'll get to Georgia in a second because I think they're going to be fine. You know, as long as they got Kirby Smart, they're going to be a good football team. And really good is going to be paramount coming up. But I still think Notre Dame is. This is why college football's king. The brands matter in college football. Notre Dame, Texas, Michigan, Ohio State. When these brands are good, college football's great. You know, you can talk about the 12-team playoff and all these bullshit, whining and complaining. Who cares? I'm all for it. Because we get more ratings, get more eyeballs on TVs. Good God, they had 40 million people watching that Arizona State-Texas game. Holy shit. So I'm all for this, okay? And Notre Dame, listen, Riley Leonard, is he ever going to wow me throwing? No. He needs to make a couple throws, get in that 20 to 15 kind of score range, and he's in good hands, okay? You like to see Notre Dame's offense obviously explode and get like 40 or something like that, and they did a few times this year. But to bounce back the way after Notre Dame lost that Week 2 game against Northern Illinois, Phil Sexton knows this as good as anybody, they bounced back, and I give a credit to Marcus Freeman. Because I just feel like Notre Dame's got this new juice and new vibe to it. And listen, we could bitch about Brian Kelly, and I saw Tim Berkshire post something on Facebook today while I was at work. Got a little extra overtime money. You know, they're more likable with Marcus Freeman than they were with Brian Kelly, and that's fair. And I totally agree with that 100%. But you got to give Brian Kelly his flowers, though. He got that Notre Dame team back to relevance when they were down for a while. With the Randy Shannons of the world and the Ty Willinghams and all those guys. He got them back to decency. So you can give Brian Kelly, you can bang on him all you want. Tom Coughlin kind of vibes, Northeast guy, pissed, intense, tough. I see a lot of that, okay? And I get it. And he's never won a natty, and he's kind of a choker. I get all that stuff. But in terms of getting players and developing talent, he's done a nice job of that at both Notre Dame and LSU and everywhere he's been. Cincinnati, you name it. So I'll give Brian Kelly his flowers, but I do agree on the point Mike Golick made on Dan Patrick. They are a more likable team, Notre Dame, than they were before because Marcus Freeman exudes that. And I think when you got a tough, intense coach, that bad vibes kind of rubs on you. And Brian Kelly always was. He had that intense demeanor on the sideline, screaming. You can lip read. You're a fucking piece of shit. And sometimes that works, and sometimes that comes back to bite you in the ass. And I think more times than not, it came back and bit Brian Kelly in the ass a lot at Notre Dame. So that's all. I mean, listen, he's a good coach, but here's the thing. We could bang on him all we want, and I could defend him and go, listen, he's at Notre Dame, academic standards, all that stuff. I get it. So it's harder for him to get the kind of players like the Georgias, like the Bamas, and all those schools can have because the academic standards aren't. They're pretty good, but they're not like in that elite tier with the Northwesterns, like the Stanfords and all that stuff. So Brian Kelly, when he struggled beating those guys, I understood it. But the one thing I gave Brian Kelly credit for, and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, was that when he got smacked and ramrodded by Bama, he actually said, you know what, I got to go down the South and get these players. I got to go to Texas. I got to go to these schools and get these big bodies so I don't get bashed and mashed again like I was against Bama. And he did. And Notre Dame can level up with them. They played Georgia before this game a couple years ago in South Bend in that 2017 where Drake Fromm was the quarterback, I believe. And then you played them 2019. You kept it close. Georgia obviously won. But you saw, like, okay, we can line up with an SEC team. We can play big boy football. And I feel like Notre Dame has done that. I think they've done that. Marcus Freeman obviously can recruit. He's got a presence. You know, he likes to, unlike Lincoln Riley, who doesn't like to recruit. Okay. Still laughing at how, Oregon keeps taking his players. Okay. And then, yelling at media. Okay. Besides that point, that's a whole other story for a whole other day. Sorry, USC fans. It's time to get rid of Lincoln Riley. Stinking Lincoln ain't that great. But my point is, I'm happy for Notre Dame. As a Notre Dame Fighting Irish guy, their Kelly greens are crispy, so nice, so fresh, so clean. I was happy for Notre Dame. And they're going to continue to skyrocket with Marcus Freeman as their coach. He's already done it enough. I thought 2 years ago he was fired after they lost to Marshall at home in an unfortunate game. But I just am impressed with Marcus Freeman. And he brings this energy and this life to Notre Dame. And they are a likable team now. I think when they had Brian Kelly, and I'm a big fan of Brian Kelly personally, but he's kind of different. And he kind of rubs people the wrong way at times. And I don't think they were as likable. And now I feel like they are. So I want to get over to Georgia. And I've had a lot of time to think. I've had a couple days. And I watched the game. I was at the gym. I was kind of there so long. I was trying to watch the game and all that. Georgia had a down year this year. But the down year being like 10 wins is good. Now, will they ever get back to that dominant 2-year stretch they had, 21 and 22? Yes. It's harder now with NIL and all that bullshit. But I still think Georgia's going to be fine. Kirby's smart, and I told this to my dad. Georgia has always been, in my whole lifetime, talented. They've always had talent. Okay, but they never had that extra gear of coaching, right? The elite. Now, Mark Richt was a good coach, but you always kind of felt like a little disappointed a little bit. With Kirby, he's notched that up 10 notches, okay? And he's obviously gotten you guys natties, and you should thank him for that. Thank you. And Georgia's still going to get good players. Like, this is not an argument that Georgia's done and they're washed. No, they're still a good football team, and they're really good. They just had a down year this year. You had back quarterback play from Carson Beck, who's supposed to be the number 1 projected overall pick. He sucked through half the year. Their offensive line was mishmashed. You just had a lot of moving parts. Now, I could argue also and take the flip side of that and go, well, you're Georgia. You should not struggle, okay? You get 5-star guys everywhere, and that I understand completely. But the times have changed with NIL, guys coming in and out. But I will say this, man. Georgia's still, to me, they're still dominant. And when I watch a Georgia football game and I turn it on, they're big, man. And they are massive. I mean, I was telling my dad the other night, Georgia's offensive line averaged 317. Notre Dame's offensive line averaged 265. There's a 50-pound, or I don't know what the math is on that, size advantage. And you can feel it when you watch a Georgia game. So I'm not worried about Georgia at all. They're going to be okay. They have about as great a talent base in that Georgia region, around that area, than you have in the country. Florida, Georgia, all those SEC schools are going to have the power to litter. Now, but the problem is, though, is you're seeing these northern teams, the Penn States, the Ohio States, the Notre Dames, they're kind of chipping and going, okay, let's get a little bit of the SEC guys. Like I just mentioned Brian Kelly when they got smacked. So I do believe that Georgia's going to be fine, okay? It's going to be interesting to go into next year with the SEC if I'm looking at it from a big picture standpoint. Alabama, we don't know about the quarterback position. I like Kalen DeBoer, but that was a sloppy season for them. Kentucky, mid, okay. Vanderbilt, cute, had a nice story, Diego Pave and all that bullshit. Are they going to have a down year? Probably, because it's Vanderbilt. They never do really good in football besides this year, which I was glad they beat Alabama, because I love it when Kyle Feinbaum, that Kermit the Frog, bald-headed looking motherfucker, starts complaining and bitching. Oh, wah, shut the fuck up, okay? You and your hillbilly self can go take yourself down the south. But, so it's going to be interesting to see in the SEC next year. But Georgia's going to be fine, okay? Georgia's going to be fine. They got good players. I'm not worried one damn bit, okay? They're going to have Gunnar Stockton back. They get the whole crew of receivers back, some young guys. They always draft receivers well my whole life. A.J. Green, George Pickens, shitbird, by the way, but he's great. That Dylan Bell kid, the Smith kid, they always have great players at Georgia. So I'm not worried in the slightest about Georgia. They're going to be fine. They're probably going to represent their part of the division next year in the SEC. They're going to be just fine, okay? I'm not worried in the damn slightest with Georgia, okay? The one I worry about coming up, Missouri's not bad. Texas will be okay. Oklahoma will be better. So Georgia's still going to be really, really good. and I would not be shocked if they get back to the SEC championship game or they get somewhere else. So, just to recap that game, I will be recording tomorrow. Give you guys in a couple hours the Steelers Browns Ravens game, my against spread pick. Baltimore by 20.5. It's a rivalry game. Scratch the records out. I could see Baltimore beating them, but it could be closer. We'll see. And then Pittsburgh and Cincinnati tonight for playoff implications. I will give you guys my reactions to that tomorrow. Stay tuned throughout the week. Next week, I got a bunch of shit going on. We got a bunch of big games going on. So stay tuned throughout the week. I'll hit the like, subscribe, share button. Stay tuned, and have a great Saturday, and have a good day.